This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers, we do golden offers like this.
MGM Millions, our supersized jackpot where right now you could win over £21 million.
Get ready for the golden era in online casino. BetMGM, it's showtime.
Minimum 10p game stake. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Good evening all, it's Monday night and welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. I'm Paul Hipkiss and tonight I'm joined by Mr. Was in a robe, then wasn't in a robe, and now he's back in a robe, Mark Adams.
Good evening everybody.
The Chairman Alan Watton. The Chairman Alan Watton.
Good evening everyone.
The one and only Claire Giblin.
Good evening.
Mr. Craig Courtney.
Good evening everyone.
All the way from the States, Mr. Mark Meredith.
Evening all.
If not, he's in St Andrews. Look, he's behind him.
And last but not least, the main man on the buttons, as usual, Mr. Chris Browne.
Good blooming evening.
So 5 on the trot it is then. 5 wins on the trot for Blues in our 5,000th league game. We celebrated a 2-0 win at Rotherham and then a good win for the ladies yesterday as well, a 4-0 victory over Portsmouth at home. So we'll sort of pick the bones out of both games as we go throughout the show. But I'll start with Rotherham away, and I don't think there was ever going to be any doubt, was there, Claire? You know, once we kicked off, really, we sort of weathered an early storm from them-ish. But then once we sort of got going, that was it, wasn't it? You know, 2 great goals, and Davies come in at the back, didn't he? Covered for Bielik quite comfortably. And then, I'm not going to lie, I was surprised when he started Lyndon Dykes instead of Alfie May, but he did hobble off a little bit, didn't he, against Wrexham? So it was probably a precautionary thing, I thought. But yeah, give us your thoughts, Claire. I know you was repping us there as always.
Yeah, I think it was a good game, to be honest. I think first 10, 15 minutes, I think we were sussing them out. I think they just launched the ball forward. But from then on, it was probably one of the easiest football matches I've ever watched us play. And it was like a training session.
Yeah.
We could have scored more. It's a shame we didn't. We were shocked about Dyke starting, but I think he came out and said May was poorly throughout the week or something. So, But it's nice though, isn't it, that we can just have someone slot in and it worked exactly the same way.
Yeah.
I thought Davies played really well covering Bielik. I think he's third choice 100% now, and it wouldn't worry me if Bielik was injured or anything like that. I thought he just came in.
Yeah.
But the 2 in the middle, Watton and Paik, are just sensational for this league. They are head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah.
But the one person that really, really, really played well is Williamson.
100%.
I've got to admit, I've never really noticed it before, but I had Holly and my mum next to me. And we were watching, because it was like a training game, you ended up watching their movement and things like that. And Williamson, the amount of space he creates, and he just drifts into different areas of the pitch to create the space. He was incredible. And I thought, actually, it's changed my mind. I was a bit like, oh, I'm not quite sure about you. But actually, I think he did really well. The goals were good. The atmosphere at our end was brilliant again. I think, the different songs we created for different people. And it was just so easy. And I think Evans knew that we were going to come there and we were going to win. I think that's why he was so, giving us plaudits beforehand. But it was like a training game, and it was a clean sheet, which is finally something that we've wanted and needed, and hopefully we can build on from here. But we're still unbeaten, so
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And can that last all season? We'll see. It's one game at a time, but you know, I don't think it's beyond the realms of impossibility. I don't at all. And what I've got to say as well is that I thought that was Hansen's best game for us so far. And I'm loving Gardner Hickman as well at right back. He's just bombing forward down that right side and causing all sorts of problems. And dare I say it, Claire, but he's got a better delivery than Laird, hasn't he? He's delivering into the box. He's got a better cross than Laird.
Yeah, I think our left side is better than our right.
Yeah.
If you're talking about balance, I think Laird does. I mean, Laird is only 21, 22, so he needs to work on it. So I think Gardner Hickman, he's used to being in the middle of the park, so he should be able to be up and down, up and down. Yeah. I think that, you know, at least technically we've got 3 right backs, haven't we now? So it's a good position to be in. Yeah,
no, 100%. And like you said there, you know, Williamson, I don't think he gets talked about enough. He's kind of, you know, goes under the radar a bit, doesn't he, so far this season? But I just love watching him play. In every game I've seen him, I just think he's been great for us, you know. And but at the top of the show anyway, that was our 5,000th league game on Saturday. And I want to ask everyone, in your lifetimes, and I'll ask the panel here and everyone watching, what are your top 3 league games, home or away? It can be home or away. What are your top 3 Blues league games in your lifetime so far? Obviously, I know we can't remember all 5,000 of them. But, you know, just pick your top 3 league games in your lifetime so far that you can remember. But, yeah, Craig, 5 wins on the right win again.
Well, my 3 all the weekend, because, I mean, in terms of the weekend, it was a complete training game. Once they got that control across the midfield, there was absolutely nobody to touch them. And Watton, you know, the Celtic fans talked about the fact that they would miss him, and boy are they missing him, because he's just coming in, and every time he's in front of goal at the moment and he looks to strike, it's not one that's going wayward. You know, you can look at it and think it's not going to hit the corner flag. This is going towards the goal, and it was a great strike for the first goal. Set up beautifully again through the passage of play. What can we say about the goal for Stansfield? I mean, firstly, what a finish, but secondly, what a ball from Williamson. It was just phenomenal. Yeah. And overall, I think that was the thing. Evans he'd gone public beforehand. The guy said it last week on the away end. They had no optimistic approach to this game whatsoever. They were defeated before we'd kicked the ball, which, you know, that's sad when it comes to a football club, but also that's credit to us and the way that we're going forwards. I'm still going to have a think about the top 3 games. One of them has to be Sheffield Wednesday at home when we had the Larson goal from the halfway line. That was phenomenal goal.
But for me, number 1 has to be Villa at home in 2002. That Monday night. It's got to be Monday night.
Oh, yeah.
The other one I put in there, actually, my 3rd, which was a true game of grit and determination from us, was when we beat Chelsea 1-0, and nothing was getting through the defence or the goalkeeper that day. You know, that was just true Birmingham City. And, you know, the other thing, we haven't seen the best of this team that we've got. And each week we are getting better. Each week the confidence is growing. But we still have not seen the best, you know, because we actually did take foot off the pedal a little bit in the second half. Quite deservedly. You know, there was no point in going out and running yourself ragged when we were in such control. Got 5 games in and we're still looking at stats over 65% in terms of possession as well. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Peterborough, I believe less than 350 tickets left now for the Peterborough game. So I reckon we'll go into that weekend with another sellout game. Just would never, ever call it. This club is well and truly on the up.
Yeah, absolutely. A certain Michael Woods has said it's an impossible question, sorry, and then he's just answered the question.
It's Michael Woods.
Alan?
Yeah.
How many
I'll tell you what.
5,000 games can you remember, mate?
Oh, games I remember. Well, my first one. Blues 3, West Brom 1. First home game of the season, midweek. And the previous 3 home games against the Albion, we'd lost 7-1, 6-3, and 7-1, 6-0, and 5-3. And my dad took me, you know, say, well, don't have like too much hope. We're going to get another tater in, but we didn't. And the thing that sticks out in my mind, Gordon Astle cut in from the right and smashed this shot past Jock Wallace, and it got stuck behind the stanchion. Right, it went into the goal on the up and stuck behind the stanchion. And Jock Wallace took 10 minutes to get it, prize it out. It was that kind of shot. But that was my first ever. I got to go with you with the Villa game, and I'm struggling for a third.
I love them Albion and Wolves games in the mid to late 90s when Addy Bowler and Unlove tore them to shreds. I love them games. The 7-0 at Stoke as well was special, wasn't it? And the 7-1 at Oxford. There was a lot of good games under Trevor's regime, God bless him. And then Brucey, obviously, as well. That I remember that when we were 2-0 down to Wolves and Devlin got the volley to make it 2-2, and that kind of kicked us on then, didn't it, into the playoffs, and we sort of hit the crest of a wave after that to get promoted.
I think I'd throw Stoke in the mix because A, couldn't stand them, and B, it was so nice with. It wasn't Lou Macari, it was his mate, Dave, whatever his name, I can't remember, who'd taken over then. And they, deserted us to go to Stoke and took a lot of our players. And then we turned up a couple of years later and stuck 7 past them. And I remember going to the car, and the car park was empty because all the Stoke supporters, who normally would have been trying to get at us, were inside the stadium throwing the season tickets at the boardroom. And we got the most comfortable ride home ever.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Mark Meredith, I don't like living in hindsight, but if we could have put that 11 out at Rotherham last season, instead of having the likes of Oliver Burke starting for us, we might be still be in the Championship now, mightn't we?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, let's not live in the past. Let's live with what we've got. But yes, certainly I think we've got a much stronger squad of players and a good mentality definitely moving in. But them games are nice because it was a team that we did play last year. So it is a team that did come down from the Championship as well. So it gives you that little bit of a match of where we are from last year. But I agree with everybody. It was an easy one. They had their 10 minutes run round at the start. And then when we got going, I don't think there was going to be any other outcome, was there, for the game? Davis, great. Dyke's great. We've already mentioned the normals. We talked about it last week. It's a headache for Davis because there's so many players now that can play, and it's a good one to have, but it's also, on a coach's point of view, a tough one as well because he's got to try to manage the, he's got to manage the team as much as he can and make sure that he keeps the players aren't playing, keeps them going, keeps them in the same light as everybody else, and I think he will. I think he can manage that. But the fact that you can bring Bellick back in next week, you've got a Watton and Pate now, and then you've got obviously Leonard on the bench, who for me didn't put a foot wrong when he was in the team.
No, he's good player.
Anderson's there. You're now talking about Buchanan and Sanderson coming back into that mix as well. It's scary to think of the depth that we have, and I agree with Craig. We haven't seen the best of us yet. Gradually getting better each week, and I'm not worried that if one player has to miss out, even just for a rest or illness, like Alfie did on Saturday, then pretty much I thought, Dyke was a great replacement, especially against someone as physical as Rotherham are as their centre-backs. I think, he bullied them around a little bit, and it gave that space more for Jay and for Williamson to play off him. And so yeah, very pleased again. Like to throw in the 2-0 home win against Brentford in the 95 season. I think we talked about it last week, but that basically got us back up that year with Barry Fry, and that night was in front of the Tilton was unreal. It was 3 days after the cup final win as well, so everyone was on a hype. So yeah,
remember it well. Yeah. But and Mark Adams, obviously first clean sheet of the season as well. He's only going to build more defensively, and that did Peacock Farrell the world of good as well. Did need to get a clean sheet, and I think as well as time goes on as well, we're just going to take more of these chances as well and win like 3, 4, 5, even 6, 7 eventually as we start to get better every week.
Yeah, we said this last week. We are going to.
So I just took a really sharp intake of breath when you mentioned 6 there, Paul.
DJ.
Go on,
I know
Rory, sorry,
I know our female members of the audience are probably quivering.
Oh, God, yeah. And some of the men.
Yeah, not gonna lie.
So you've thrown me off balance now. Anyway, so yeah, back to the game. Yeah, I mean, we said last week we're going to absolutely demolish someone at some point. Oh, he was threatening to be like that on Saturday. And it's like every Monday now. It's just positive every week. I can't see us losing many games. If we keep up this sort of average, we're going to lose very few games. I know Craig said about the stats earlier. I mean, I think I read earlier we had one of the best possession rates in European football at the minute.
Yeah,
we're even beating the likes of Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah.
But like I say, I mean, you drop a player. I think Mark said it a minute ago. You don't notice. It's so seamless when somebody comes in. You're not weakened at all.
No.
And it's just absolutely. I can't believe this is the same sort of squad that went down because well, it's not really, but you know what I mean. It's only a few months ago. It was all doom and gloom, but now it's just a million miles from that. And it's we've come so far in such a short time. I can't see anyone stopping us going up. I know it sounds really early in the season, but I just can't see it. I just can't see us not going up.
No,
because we just get better and better on and off the pitch as well. So I mean, going back to the three games, Paul, I just thought, I don't know. I'm thinking of the Ipswich, the home game of the Worthington Cup. That's one that stands out.
That's a league game. That's a cup game, Mark.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Anyway, listen, no, I was thinking about that, but then I thought, yeah, it's a league game, isn't it? But no, I think Bolton away. I mean, that was a classic one. I think going to Bolton.
When Djukovic scored.
What's that? Sorry.
You mean the one under Gary Monk when Djukovic scored?
When we stayed up with Lee Clark. Sorry.
I know. I'm just testing him.
No, sorry. No. But I mean, like I say, the Villa one. I think the Villa at home.
Yeah,
that just straight away. As soon as you said that question, that's the first thing that came to my head.
I loved our first Premier League win as well at home. Against Leeds.
The Leeds one, yeah.
When Damian Johnson scored, and I ended up actually flying out to IB for the very next day, and arrived in my blue shirt and got thrown in the pool by a load of Leeds fans as well at the hotel straight away. So I didn't even empty my luggage. Good times, but yeah,
the last 2 minutes at Villa Park as well when we drew 2-2. That was I
was at that one. Yeah, that was a classic. So I just remember, the thing that sticks out with that one is that coming out after their place, and loads of them were sort of smashing bottles on the ground, saying, will we ever beat them? And it's just like, I just try not to laugh.
Yeah,
just
there's loads. They'll all come back to you as we go. But I mean, you could say Blackpool on New Year's Day as well, or New Year's Eve.
Oh, the 7-1. Yeah.
I remember loving that game as well. And
Millwall 6-0.
Yeah. 6-0 away. Yeah, when King got a hat trick, didn't he? Marlon King.
Yeah, and the other one was a few seasons ago, the Swansea when Trusty scored.
Yeah.
And,
late.
I mean, that was I literally felt like we were going to run on.
Yeah, okay.
There's some great games that have been mentioned on the shout box. So you just covered one of them, Stern-John in that last minute at Vile Park. Birmingham versus Southampton, where Dougarry had his masterclass. That was from Graham Haynes.
Yeah,
great shout out. Yeah.
We've mentioned the 7-0 at Stoke. Mike said he's never seen red snow before, but actually it's being thrown on the pitch. Then there's Blues versus Fulham. It's from Chris Rowe. This is Bertie Old decked Hayne and Cook got sent off. So Mr. Chairman, do you remember that one?
I was there.
Too far for me, isn't it?
The best right hand and the best nut that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
he was a classic.
Chris, I'm going to ask you a question now, mate. In all your life so far as a Blues fan, have you ever felt like this before? Because I know I haven't as a 45-year-old. But
has it ever felt like this?
I felt this good before. Despite relegation.
I suppose there's a lot more because of social media. It's a lot different, isn't it? So
yeah.
But I mean, to me, the 70s were my, late 70s, early 80s were my time. That was a fun time. Plus the Barry Fry era. But no, it's a great time to be a Blues fan. I think people will disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm just talking for what they've done in such a short space of time. You know, off the field and now on the field. This squad of players for me is championship ready. Like Gary Cook said, we're going to build a championship squad in League One ready for next season. And my God, have they done that? You know, I think some of these players could even go on and play in the Prem. You know, not saying all of them, but I don't think they could have a problem. I don't think Cochrane would have a problem.
Does anybody think that complacency may slip in? Or
I don't think you'll let them after hearing him every week. I think that they're always like, right, on to the next game.
Yeah.
On to the next game. And he's got such a good mentality. I mean, I watched some of the Tottenham games recently and you can kind of see where he's got it from.
Yeah.
You know, like the Tottenhams and the Celtics and the Liverpools, you can tell that he's got the winning mentality there, which I think is different compared to an old school.
Yeah, although we did win a trophy more recently than Tottenham.
Yeah.
I think just on that, Paul, I was just like, for me, it's just the same sort of feeling as the 95 season. I was obviously more excited on the 95 season because I was an 11-year-old boy. And I think when you're a child and you see how much success you're having and get to Wembley, you win a championship and all that sort of stuff. You know, I'm 40 years old now. I obviously can't get to many games not living in England anymore. But that 95 season for me would never be better for just a kid seeing that.
Yeah.
Every time I watch a game now on the TV, I get them same, butterfly feelings again on this year. Like we can be better. We've definitely got a better squad, I think. But we talked about it last week, didn't we? If you put those two squads together, then that's one hell of a 11 we have.
Oh, yeah. I'm just talking as a whole package, the club on and off the field at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Is in an unreal place. I mean, we broke our transfer record. We broke the League One transfer record 3 times in one window, and it's just, I just have to keep pinching myself and thinking, am I going to, every time I go down there as well to a game, it's like, am I in the right place here or what? The whole feel around St Andrews now is so different every single game.
And just to add to that, Dennis has confirmed that our average possession so far this season has been 68%. The nearest club in Europe, 60%. And yet, it's a beautiful game in Europe, apparently. If that's the case, are we playing a beautiful game? I still think, we'll continue those levels. And a team is going to take a spanking. A team is going to take a spanking.
I was about to say that. We're taking that much of the ball every game, which I know we are. We just need to be a bit more ruthless, don't we, and put the ball in the back of the net a bit more often, or maybe a lot more often. Because I think we've only scored more than 2 goals in one game. Is it? Was that Wickham away?
And Wrexham home.
But Alan, what about you, mate? In your lifetime so far, have you felt this positive about being a Blues fan before?
I don't know about positive, but I've never felt like this about Birmingham City. Whether that's positive. I tell you something. On Saturday, I was nervous, and it's a different nerve when you go into the last game of the season, and you don't win, you're going down. You can be nervous, but I suppose it's a bit of a negative thought that when's this going to stop? Somebody, we only have to have a referee like that idiot we had against Fulham. Give the opposition a stupid penalty or do something, and it caves in, and I'm nervous that today could be the day. 20 minutes into that game, that nervousness had gone. It was just sitting. In fact, the second half, I got a bit bored. Come on, get a goal. But I tell you what stuck out on my mind is the certain play, like take the goalkeeper just as one example. Right, he had a problem against Wrexham, right? And he punched the ball the wrong way. He had exactly the same problem on Saturday when a big bloke got near him and he punched it away behind him, out of danger. And I'm thinking, that's an improvement. And then you go the other end of the pitch and the Norwegian, the left winger, he suddenly starts to look really dangerous. Now, that was my complaint about him. He hasn't really grasped the net. But he did on Saturday. Okay, we didn't get a goal from it, but the keeper made a wonderful save to his shot. He got crosses in. He kept the pressure up. And I tell you, the bloke, The first time he touched the ball in a blue shirt was against Rangers. And he come on the pitch and he passed the ball to their bloke. First kick of the game, I thought, what on earth have we got here? And that is Clara. And he was sensational. Yes, there was a lot of them were, but he was sensational. That business that Bielik does, i.e. getting the ball, passing it forward, or bursting forward, passing it forward, he took that role over and he did it brilliantly. And it allowed Davies just to play centre half and defence. Yeah, he started coming forward, which again was an improvement on what he did in the first game he played. And I could see different people think, well, that's better. You get caught there sometimes, but he didn't. He went through the team. So consequently, we have improved virtually every game.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that stuck out of me. And I must have I missed the start, and suddenly somebody mentioned Dyke's name, and I thought, well, hang on, if he's in, who's missing? And I had to work out who was missing, and it was Alfie May. And it was 15 minutes before I realised that there weren't the same people on the pitch that I thought were on there, and it was seamless, absolutely seamless.
Yeah, good point coming in from Bill Mint as well. Please remember we are a League One team in League One, big jump up to the Championship and miles away from the Premier League. I totally agree, Bill. But I do think, having watched all the last 30 seasons now, more or less, in the Championship, most of these players are more than capable of stepping up to the Championship. And then, we'll see where we go from there. But there's no doubt if we do go up this season, or when we do go up this season, we do need to make more additions, don't we? We will make more additions next summer. Or even in January, can we see us signing anyone else in January? Do we need to?
Wagner's already said the spending hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
And, people keep on saying that there's these big, we're first division, we've got to go into the Championship, then we're going to see an increase with the Premier League. We could hold our own at this present moment in the top half of that Championship. I have no doubt in whatsoever we could hold our own and potentially push on. What I've seen of the Championship so far this season is that we don't actually have teams like you normally have that have been absolutely standout. But actually, they're pretty equal. It's pretty even. If we can do a season, build on this, get yourself promoted, keep the nucleus of that team together, and then add a few additions next season. I might be jumping well ahead here, but there's no reason we couldn't do what Ipswich did.
Yeah, no, I might be asking a stupid question now, but probably won't be the first time. But last season, I asked everyone, what's your relegation radar, on a scale of 1 to 10? So what's our promotion radar now from what we've seen so far this season in the first 6 games? What's your promotion radar? I'll start with 9.5. I'm always going to leave that 0.5, but that's mine, 9.5. Mark Meredith.
I'm going to go 8 and an 8.5. Not that I don't think we will, but I'm still very I've seen Blue so much, so
yeah.
I'm going to go 8.5, but I think there's still a lot of improvement there to still go on what we've got already.
And that's the thing, we've all seen Blues so much, but this just feels so much different to me. This is not Blues of old or typical Blues. All that mindset for me is gone. It just feels totally different. It's like a completely different club altogether. But Claire?
I would probably say 9 to 9.5. I still think we could go unbeaten.
Yeah, so do I.
And the amount of people that have gone, I'll buy you a ticket if we go unbeaten. So my away game's sorted for next year. Yeah. But I think with what you said earlier, it's about the philosophy of the club. It's about the ethos of the club. Now, if we're winning games, confidence is building, we're playing a style of football. To me, I know the goal to the Championship is bigger, but if you've already got that philosophy of play, you've already got the ethos in the club that if anybody turns up, everybody in every position, even, the under-21s going down are playing that way, you've already got a foundation. So why can't we? Like Ipswich did it. Southampton's done it where they've dropped down and they've gone up. I know the Wolves aren't doing very well at the moment, but they've done it too. So I think it's about building, momentum. It's about confidence. Like, we've been a club for years that's had zero confidence. Even when people have walked through the door, they've probably gone, oh, this is Birmingham City. We might lose most of the games. We'll be scrapping relegation. I think if they turned up now, number one, they've seen the football under Chris Davis and probably gone, I want a bit of that. And number two, they see, right, they're winning every week, so there must be something good. And we're exciting to watch. It's the first time I go to a game and go, oh, I'm going home going, well, that was fun. That was good.
Yeah.
You want more, but it's brilliant. So I think a 9 to 9.5, always a bit sceptical. You never know.
Oh, yeah, you've always got to leave that room, haven't you? But yeah, Robe?
I'd say a solid 9. I'm convinced we'll go up. It's just, what order?
Yeah.
I don't even think we'll be outside the top 2. I mean, I know it's real. We've said it before. It's stupidly early, but I just can't. I'm just so confident now. I think we'll be top 2, no problem. I think we're going to lose eventually. I think we'll lose, but I'm not too sure. And,
see, John Bullingham is exactly where I'm at with it. He's put 10 and he's put it's the new Blues, and that's how I feel at the moment as well.
The new mentality, yeah. I mean, also, what we haven't mentioned as well, I mean, I know we're getting on the pitch, but the manager's profile's going up as well.
Yeah.
And if, a year or two like this, and he'll be on the radar of a lot of teams, big teams.
He's already at a big team. He's already at a big team.
Yeah, he's at the biggest of the lot, so he doesn't need to move, does he? But yeah, I mean, fair play to him. Yes, he's been backed and he's had money and all the rest of it, but he's proven what a good job he can do. When you got someone like Postecoglou singing your praises, you want to be a winner.
Yeah, definitely.
If you base it on the game so far, you've got to say a 10, haven't you? But that's the way it is at the moment. I mean, overall, 9 to 9.5. But I just it's the winning mentality, but it's the whole club inside and out has changed. So, let's not knock ourselves as fans. Let's be honest, we have changed. We have changed massively. We've come back in our droves. We are backing that team. So it's the whole thing. The whole thing together is where, and fundamentally, it's what's making Birmingham, I take the pun, but rise again. That's what it's to do with. We're almost going back to where we were, to the roots, and saying what made Birmingham, and that was a hard-working team that had a never-say-die attitude, that always pushed to their absolute extreme, gave everything, sweat, blood, tears on the pitch, and not just that, fans giving their utmost as well. And that's what we have back. We have our club. That's the way I see it at the moment. And yeah, if we don't win this league, then I think a lot of people will be disappointed.
Yeah.
But what I want to see is I just want to see us continue to grow. And then when it comes to the end of the season, if we're celebrating a promotion like we all want it to be, and guess what, we're celebrating being champions, that promotion is going to be immense. Yeah. But go back to the words of Gary Cook at the end of last season and at the Players' Awards, when he turned around and he said, the rebuilding of this club will be bigger than the downfall that we've taken.
Yeah.
You can't agree with that at the moment.
No, definitely. Yeah. Alan, your radar on promotion, mate?
I'm going to go 8.75 because we did draw the game, and that's not acceptable anymore. But yes, it's as I said, it's a different feeling. I mean, all last season, you go and you think, oh, guys, we've got to win today, please. And then even when you do, you're thinking, well, we've got to win the next one, and so on. This is a much different feeling, and I really, I started doing sums already. Well, at our current rate, we'll have 112 points at the finish. So if we lose 4 games. Sorry, lose 3 games and draw 3. That's the 100. Now, do you see us losing 3 games and drawing 3? No. And you look at our nearest challengers, which is Wrexham at the moment. They scraped a win against Crawley on Saturday. We were top of the league for most of Saturday afternoon, and then they go and nick a goal at the end. Now, if we play Crawley very soon, and we don't till Christmas and Easter, if we beat Crawley 2-1, we won't be going, oh, great, that's another 3 points. I mean, what the hell's going on? Can you see the difference? And it's just a different mentality, and it's so. Instead of turning up to a match and being nervous and staying nervous till the whistle goes, as I said, 15 minutes into the game, I'm sitting there smoking a cigar, thinking this is all over. This is a non-event. Yeah. And I respected Rotherham. I know they haven't done very well to start with, but I remember what happened there last year. They've spent money. They've bought people who we might have wanted, like their centre forward, and they were just obliterated.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I certainly haven't been this excited about going down there for a long time. And on a match day now, you just wake up with a completely different feel. It's almost like a buzz now. You're like, I can't wait to get down there today. And, even for me, obviously, I know not everyone's a fan, but for me, the DJs made a big difference on match days. I really think that, that really does lift the atmosphere in the ground. And not just in the ground, the DJs outside the stadium as well. The whole place is just buzzing, isn't it? And it's Ram live from 1 p.m, which is unbelievable, really. But Chris, what's your promotion radar?
Can I be the first person to say that? Can I be the first person to say give it a 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite confident. I can't see us losing. I know it's early. It's early days, but
no,
I can't see it. I can't see us not being promoted this season.
No, me.
5 teams we've beaten.
Yeah.
Are better than the 5 teams that Wrexham have beat.
Yeah.
And you look at probably the poorest who we played was Leyton Orient. They were bottom at the time, but since we played them, they've won a couple of games, and now they're out of the relegation zone. And who did they beat? I say 4-1. Stockport. Stockport was another team. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, we never do very well there. Blah blah blah. They're on a roll, etc., etc., etc. And they get beat 4-1 by Leyton Orient. What am I worrying about?
Yeah.
I mean, the next 4 games. Sorry, Paul. I think the next 4 games were. I think obviously we've had 2 of them, but I think this was always when we got the fixtures, the 6 games where you can kind of see where we were. So obviously we've had like Wrexham, and we've had obviously Rotherham. We've got Peterborough, who are normally a really good team at this level. Huddersfield. You've got, I think, is Bolton coming up as well. We've got a few that we know are going to be round us. I mean, we've already beaten 2 of them quite easily. So again, I think after these next 4 games, let's see where we are. Hopefully we've won all of them, but there might be a couple of, we might hit a patch. I don't know, but I can't see it. But I think these are the best teams to play against to see.
Well, definitely. Yeah. We appreciate everyone's comments as well on the chat and on the shout box. Chris, any sort of highlight?
On YouTube, there's quite a lot of the confidence is running very, very high. I just hope the fans remember this when we get to the Premier and don't expect more and more like before. It'll kill the atmosphere. I don't understand that one. I'm sure we'll do well next season too in the Championship. I'll be surprised if we didn't strengthen in January.
Yeah.
And also, can anyone see us not smashing everyone this season?
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, for me, what you say there is a good point, actually, because this January, obviously, the restrictions aren't as tight as what they are in the Championship on the FFP in League One. So if we are, say, come January, 8 or 9 or 10 or even more points clear at the top, whatever it is, they might just think, right, okay, let's do it now. Let's go and spend another 15, 20 million if they've got it. I know they've got it, but if we can, sorry, or should I say, and make ourselves even better. ready for the Championship next season.
Yeah, regardless of the work being done, a lot of praise has got to go to Chris Davis, hasn't it?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
As
I think Craig Gardner.
Yeah,
I think he needs a shout because a lot, Watta's come and said, like a lot of them have come and said, we were so happy that we're playing for Craig Gardner as well.
Yeah.
So whatever he says to them, however he sells his project, he must be doing a really good job.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And, we've got things as well that outside of what's happening on the football pitch are what are making the difference to the club. So it's been mentioned a couple of times on the message board, but something as small as today's announcement of having a shuttle bus running from the centre of Birmingham to the stadium and back again, before and after games. We would never, ever have had that from our old owners to have this opportunity to make sure that they can help the fans as much as possible.
Yeah.
And when some people will say trivial and small, but when something like this happens and it creates such the amount of talk and positivity again that it has done today, and when you think about the announcements of Delta, the announcement now of Nike and the kits for the next few seasons, the announcement of Undefeated, it just shows that we are also a global brand.
Yeah.
We are now known worldwide, and that can only get bigger as well. But huge thank you to the club, because you've listened to the fans. You've heard that there are problems getting to and from the stadium.
Yeah.
You've delivered the feedback as fans, and the club have acted. It's brilliant. What's next around the corner?
There's loads, Craig. Trust me.
Horsley Station to be revamped. Get our own tram. What are we going to do next?
Let's not remember that. I bet that wasn't cheap.
And the fact that they called it 1875.
Excellent.
Like, I'm not being funny. Like that, it's the little details that I find. So whenever we go to the Blues meetings, they've got so many ideas that they want to do. I mean, thankfully, the other week we had Gary Cook sat with us for half of our meeting, and he was very open and honest about everything. Like, for example, the phone line. The phone line that we still use is the same number as when Gary Cook was there at 9 years old. It hasn't changed. So, literally, if you're having problems with the phone line, it's not just, it's everything. Like, literally, he was reeling them all off, and we were just sat there in astonishment. And the fact is, we've got people behind the scenes that are, NFL people as well. So there's going to be more and more, especially within the ground before kickoff. So with the getting in there early, getting, free shirts and things like that, there's more of that to come. So just be aware that the amount of things on their way is going to be brilliant. And some of the, the third kit's on its way.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it looks like, but let's hope. I've requested like a blackout one or something like that. And all of the kit, like next year's kit's already been designed because it's 150 years. So it's just going to be outstanding, I think. But like you said, Craig, they've listened. They listen to everything. They listen to our meetings. They listen to the OSC. They watch us on here. They're listening because they want the best experience for us, because we're going to spend more money and we're going to end up with more fans, and it's just going to get bigger.
No, I know money talks, and obviously, we have got our diehards, haven't we? Our diehard fans that go home and away, or to every home game, or whatever. And what we don't want is them being priced out. You know what I mean? As we get bigger and better, you don't want them people being priced out just because of money. And I think I've mentioned it before. And there was a guy with his son, and I don't want to be negative at all. It's all positive, but my only request to them would be just make sure we're not pricing out our diehard fans. You don't want that to happen, do you?
I think there's going to be unfortunately at some point it's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they hold off. But I think, Man City, they don't do everything for cheap because they need the revenue to buy the better players. So hopefully we've got a few years left.
You'd like to think when we've got a bigger stadium, they'll have more people in there and then they'll be able to charge, a reasonable price, I'll say.
62,000 at 20 quid a touch is £1 million.
I was just going to say, and on that subject, people scoffed not long ago about us building a 60,000 stadium. We need it now.
Yeah, I know.
The fact we're doing resale at every game so far tells you the demand at the moment is just outstripping what we actually have available. And it's awesome. From anybody that's looking at it from a business model is thinking, wow, this is big because things have changed inside the stadium. So we've spoke about some of the things that we've introduced and stuff, but things like catering, right? The difference of going to those catering kiosks now, just since the beginning of the season, is massive. Not only are you getting served quicker, but actually the standard of the food and the service you're getting is 1,000 times better. You go to the ground, you're going inside the ground, you're going nice and early, you end up with your happy hour. So people are not only getting that, but it's additional revenue inside the ground. Yes, I do feel for some of the local businesses, the pubs and the restaurants, etc., that used to have those fans going, but they'll get it back over time. Because what's going to start happening is people are then going to can't get a ticket. I'll tell you what, we'll go to a pub, we'll watch it there instead. So they're going to get it's going to turn around. But
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers, we do golden offers like this.
MGM Millions, our supersized jackpot where right now you could win over £21 million.
Get ready for the golden era in online casino. BetMGM, it's showtime.
Minimum 10p game stake. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
the key thing is it's across the board, because we've mentioned an awful lot about the men's game here. Right? Segue into the ladies' game. We've invested heavily in the ladies' game as well. The weekend, fantastic 4-0 result against a Portsmouth side that, yes, I think they're finding it hard to find their footing in the league. But we started off very similar to the men's. We struggled with them to start off with, but then eventually found out how to break them down. Fantastic first goal from Libby Smith, to her pinpoint turn in the area and then into the bottom corner was brilliant. And then get to the second half, we bring on Gwem, or Lee Gwem Min for full name. And what a difference she made. It's like one of the first touches of the ball. It was just, I'm going for the ball. I'm not going to miss out on this. And she literally, the player bounced off her because she was going to win it no matter what. And then scored a fantastic header. And her second goal, composure on the edge of the box was phenomenal. And then we end it with big Louise Quinn at the far post. And what we've got there is then a growing attendance at St Andrews for those games. 1,300 or just over 1,300 this time around, up on the last game. But it's a different clientele. This is families. This is about the whole family experience. Claire mentioned off air that the school had some tickets and that people went for the first time. where me and Liv were sitting, we had a family that were sitting next to us that were going to their first game. As they left the ground, the question immediately to the mum was, when can we come again? Which is exactly what we need, because we need to continue to build that fan base across the ladies' game, because they're on the up as well. You know, both teams sitting second in the league, only off the top by goal difference for the men, and then I think it's a point for the ladies. But it makes no difference because they've got that winning mentality as well. Amy has turned around the football. It's great to watch. It's attacking football. When we look at our player of the season from 2 seasons ago, who was phenomenal in the league, Jade Pennock, she's now out on loan because she cannot make the first team. We've also had Charlie Devlin leave in this window to go up to Rangers on loan because she cannot get in the team. And there are people fighting now for their positions in the ladies. So the investment the club have made into that side of it is also huge, on and again, off the field. So we just want that to continue to build. Stephen's blog, it'll be out shortly, and it covers off everything. This weekend was especially nice because not only did we get our 4-0 result, but it was about celebrating the life of Maddie Cusack, who was a Birmingham player who sadly, through illness took her own life last year. And that is something that we remembered before the game, and it was a nice way to celebrate that life that she had and that time she spent at the club as well. And I love nothing more than to have a full St Andrews, which, I'll be realistic. I don't think it would happen with our current fan base because we have people who enjoy the game, people who have got no interest in the ladies' game, people who would just go, no chance, never get catching me down there. But what was nice to see was some new faces and the old faces. Those diehard ladies fans haven't disappeared. The likes of Barry, who runs the ladies OSC, he's going absolutely nowhere, but he is doing so much to help promote the club. Lee, Garrison Coffer, he is down there, still sponsoring players, still helping, the players at the training ground and before games and after games. It still continues to grow, and we're going to get more of an audience. We mentioned 1,300 there in the ground. We're up to 1,600 watching it online. So I know some of that will have been Portsmouth fans, but it'd be interesting to know from the club, what was that breakdown? How did it figure out, and what can we do? And now, in fact, as you know, I go to the games, but I'd love to hear from people as to what would encourage you to go to St Andrews to watch a ladies' game. What do you think it is that stops you at this present moment? Is it transport? Is it the fact that there's a cost to get in? Because this is the other thing to bear in mind. The average attendance last season, just over 800. We did have it as high as 3.5, just shy of 4,000, in fact, for one of the games.
Yeah.
Right? That was free. That was free for every season ticket holder. Last year, 13,500 season ticket holders. This year, 18,500. If they made it a free game, would you go? And, again, please let me know, what can we put to the club to help get more people down to the ladies' game?
It might be an idea, Craig. I know we've kind of said it before. If you had either the ladies' game before or after, it's a shame that you can't. Do you mean have it even if it's just random games or big games? Because I know that I struggled to go. I enjoyed watching it yesterday on YouTube. I didn't, I had the Forest game on, I had the Blues game on, and I was quite content. But because I'd been to Rotherham the day before, I think it's harder, especially for away fans, to keep going there and back because, my Sunday's free. But I think if you had a couple of games after or before, I think more people would go, especially if you did happy hour or, if you're in there early. Do you know what I mean?
Is it not the pitch, though, that would suffer?
I know, but they play on it
That's true.
I think, the pitch is brand new. It's got more plastic than it probably has grass.
Yeah, it's just the same thing as well.
It is, though. Do we have any women's fans that don't go to the men's game, though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
You probably do, in all honesty. When I look at the people that do go to the games, it is like I say, it's more family orientated. There is a different atmosphere. You know, you're not getting the singing a keep right on. You hear the kids are getting involved, and they're the ones that are loving it. But just one person turning around and going, "Love that, I want to come back."
Yeah.
You know, that's £2 into the bank next time around, and you know those £2 soon mounts up.
Yeah.
And Alan Miller's mentioned.
I was just going to say that one. Yeah.
So there was a lot play on social media earlier this week in regards to Solihull Moors and Solihull Moors ladies. Firstly, you know, yes, everybody wants every team to be on an even keel. However, I want to highlight that from a Solihull Moors perspective, their women's structure is completely different to ours. Firstly, there was a lot of comments slating Solihull Moors Football Club for this. Their ladies' team are not owned or run by Solihull Moors Football Club. They are run by a charity that is the foundation. So from a clarity point for everybody that was like, oh, why are the Moors, you know, leaving them out? Why are they not doing this? Why are they not doing that? It's the foundation. It's a charity. So therefore, if money isn't coming into a charity, they're not going to be able to afford all the time to go out and do the different things. And, you know, we'd love nothing more than for that to happen. But that statement that was made, whilst a lot of it can be taken forwards, and the statement from Solihull Moors Foundation stated that they take on board some of those comments, please also bear in mind that a lot of what was put in there was not factually true. So, you know, we've mentioned social media being a power at the moment for football. It's a power for negativity as well. So it's a lot better and will get better. And I'm sure that the foundation will work with that team at Solihull to make sure that things can continue going, and that as an ongoing concern, these things can happen. And don't forget, the Solihull Moors Foundation is just like BCFC Foundation. It's a charity. So therefore, you can donate to them. You can donate to the foundation via their website. You can donate to BCFC Foundation via the app, the BCFC app, the foundation website as well. So if you're passionate about it, you can always help out. So there, just to clarify that. And yes, you know, as Alan's mentioned, yes, Moors didn't say that in the article. You know, it wasn't. The article that was released was by some players, and it's got to be factually correct.
Yeah, people were very quick. Some groups were very quick to jump on that as well. Which was
I mean, as well as the men's and women's teams as well. Obviously, we have the academy as well, and you know, I think it's only a matter of time before we become a Grade 1 category, Category 1, so Category A academy again. But on that subject, I just want to wish Liam Daesh all the best for the future of that kind of something that happened last week that to me was a bit of a shock, to be honest. I think having Daesh around, knowing, you know, captain the club last time we were in this division to the title, and you know, what's everyone's thoughts on Daesh moving on and obviously going into pastures new? And has anyone taken his role at all?
Shock to me.
Yeah, I don't know what it's. It's a, you know, dispensing of someone like that. Obviously, a good reason for it, but yeah, it'd be interesting where Daesh pops up next. To be honest, if he does pop up in the game, you know, perhaps he's had enough. I don't know.
He's not going to work long.
We have signed a lot of coaching staff, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, well, what are all these people going to do? We've got Daisy looking after the academy. What's the name? The guy who's in charge of the 21's been there forever. You know, what are they going to do with all these new people? And they all got fancy names, and this director of that and director of this and all the rest of it. It's a bit like when Hope, what's the name, came through the door. Came through the door. You know, what's she going to do that the manager can't do, and eventually the manager had to go and a new manager came in and they've now formed an alliance to run the women's team. And I know they're doing a very good job at the moment. But, sometimes that these things are, the writing's on the wall. You think, well, why do they need that person,
Yeah, no, definitely.
Just on that, I don't think that's, that doesn't surprise me one bit. I've obviously been in academy football myself and around coaching for a while, but as soon as a new coach comes in, even at first team level, there's always that talk of, bringing his own backroom staff in from assistant managers all the way down to academy level. So it's not a shock that old people move on, despite, Daisy being pretty much of a legend at Blues for us. I think it's just it's one of those things that happen in the game, and totally, Davies is starting to bring in people that he's probably had relationship with in the past, and building his own system so that we do have the academy playing on the same level as the first team in regards to the his methodology of what he wants to do and that sort of thing.
Yeah, now talking of Blues legends, we're also joined on the shout box by Simon Andrews, our coach driver.
Yes.
And he's just basically explaining there that Hope Powell is the Craig Gardner of women's football, and that's exactly what she is. Yeah, technical.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any other thoughts of these league games that I mentioned earlier in the show?
Wow. Are you on about games that we've actually been to, Paul, or just in general?
Whatever. Preferably ones you've been to, isn't it? I would say.
I was at the Albion when we won 4-2 with Louis scoring from the halfway line.
Was you?
That was good. Yeah, the 4-2. Yeah.
I just thought it would be a good thing to discuss, being our 5,000th league game on Saturday.
Yeah.
West Ham away as well in our first Premier League win when Stern Johnson that was a good one to have for sure.
Yeah. It's that sort of question where you think, oh yeah, there's that game, and then a few minutes later you think, oh no, what about that game?
We'll be there at midnight, won't we? Doing it, I won't be able to sleep tonight now. Cheers, Paul.
I'd just like to point out that I've seen over half of those.
I think Liverpool in the Premier League as well, first season. When
Clinton. Yeah.
Clinton got one, and
got two. Clinton got two.
He got two headers, didn't he?
Stephen Clements got a header, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that was at St Andrews. Clements' header when we drew at Anfield.
Morrison scored two there, didn't he?
Yeah, but Morrison scored in the 2-0 at the Blues as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Liverpool versus Birmingham, late 70s.
Yeah. And Chris, do we have a Who tonight as well?
Oh, give me 10 minutes. I've got it, but I haven't got it lined up.
Paul, I wonder if people can say what the worst games are, because we probably had more.
God.
I think we're all gonna say the same one, Claire. To be honest,
like Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? There's been some horrendous games.
Bournemouth, but the one for me that beats Bournemouth has actually been mentioned by Pete Taylor as well, and that was Swindon.
Glenn Hoddle was amazing that day.
Glenn Hoddle came onto the pitch and
he ran the show,
destroyed us. Absolutely destroyed us.
That's
it.
Does anyone remember the 0-0 at home to Charlton where we only had to win to get in the playoffs?
And we just couldn't score, could we?
Yeah. Their goalkeeper was just unbelievable that day. What was his name again now, their goalkeeper?
Was it Illich?
Something like that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Illich,
yeah.
Actually, talking of games and playoffs, I don't think you can beat the Watford. I know we lost on penalties, but the actual game against Watford was phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Simon Andrews, stop rubbing it in. That's a record that nobody else can beat apart from a player. I was at every away game during COVID.
Yeah, no, there's been some really, certainly more annoying games than probably happy ones, hasn't there, out of those 5,000, shall we say?
Definitely.
Yeah, when we lost to Blackpool. 6-0. I was halfway home after 4.
Yeah.
We lost 5-1 away at the Vile as well, didn't we? That was the... That was a horrible one for a couple of years.
I remember the FA Cup one against Liverpool, the 7-0, the quarter final.
League games. League games. Come on, Mark.
Sorry. I was going to talk about league games.
Chris, can you take him up?
What annoyed the hell out of me as well was the first time I seen us lose to them up the road at St Andrews as well when Phillips scored.
O'Leary jumping around. Yeah,
I hate it. Yeah, that really.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Jim Toney has said, Tranmere away, even though we were relegated, the atmosphere was brilliant, and what a legend Basil was. That is truly amazing.
Yeah.
We've got to say that. Oh no, ignore me. I was going to say a cup game.
Any more?
I can remember a game when it was so bad. I think it was against Southampton, first division game, and my dad was in hospital, and I was using his season ticket. And this game was so bad, I went to see him afterwards, and I threw the ticket on the bed, and I said, "For so and so sake, get better, and you go and watch it."
One of the worst ones I remember, there's two of them away, which would always haunt me, was Hull away.
Oh, yeah, I was at that one.
Jack and Doy was the only person that came over to clap us. And it was Brentford away. It was one of the last games, and it was awful. I mean, Blues fans were arguing with each other, and somebody went to me, "You're a girl, you don't know what you're talking about." And then look where I am now.
Yeah. Still don't know what you're talking about.
5 years later, he's still trying to struggle.
Yeah. Now I'm still going. I'm still there. Do you know what I mean?
What about the? Do you remember the Barnsley one in the playoffs, the 4-0?
Yeah, God,
that was so flat.
That's got to be up there.
Who went to the second leg?
We went at Oakwell. We won in Oakwell 2-1.
We won 2-1
Oakwell, yeah.
Yeah, Rabbit scored, didn't he? Rabbit got a header, if I remember.
Yeah.
It's been easier thinking of the worst games than the best games.
Oh, well.
Who's ready for the who? Who's ready for the who?
Go on, then hit me.
Okay, this is going to be very, very quick because I think now, thinking about it, it's probably easy. But who is this ex-guest?
We're thinking, we're going to get low. Yeah.
I've got that.
Say that again, Chris.
Say it again, Chris. It sounded like you.
That's easy.
Well, they didn't get it. Here we go.
We're near it.
Shut up.
We picked up our pie packets. What about?
I'm only doing quick.
I know that is.
Yeah, that's really easy.
Let's see if any audience member.
I think I know who it is, yeah. I think. Last time I said this, though, and said who I thought it was wrong.
No. No. I'm quiet on the chat box.
Does his surname begin with a C?
I'm not saying yes, and I'm not saying no.
Okay.
That's yes, then.
It was quicker the second time than the first time.
Yeah. Nigel, man, you're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I think the accent's got to give it away.
Yeah,
I know who it is.
Oh, no, Fraser's got it wrong as well. Let's see if anybody on YouTube has got close. No.
Play again, Chris.
Once more.
Okay, you'll get it now then. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, we picked up our pie packets. What about?
We picked up
Yes! Oh, nobody's got it. Oh, I can't believe this.
No, nor me.
He's a recent guest. Well, not recent. I think last year.
PW is Blue on YouTube has gone for Robert Hopkins.
Nope.
No.
No.
I reckon it's Dennis Bohemia.
You're in the right ballpark.
As we know, we're sponsored on the Tilton Talk Show proudly by AMG Logistics, and I'm hoping we'll be joined by Andy Griffiths in the not too distant future as well. If not this coming Monday next week, the one after. But we'll see. I've just got to get his sorted for when he's back off his hollybobs.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's not Painter or O'Connor or Paul Caddis or Paul Devlin.
Okay.
I might have got him stumped this week.
Mark Meredith's doing an Alan Shearer celebration for some reason.
I know, sir.
Yeah, I know as well.
Yeah.
I was going to say he's munching on. Well, I can't say tea, but it's got to be lunch. So he's munching on his lunch at the same time.
Like what a little Smartie, isn't it?
Smarties. Are they called Smarties in America?
No, not them Smarties. Like chocolate Smarties. Like these
Smarties.
little.
So I couldn't resist Smarties.
Okay.
No, it's not Sadlab.
Yeah, definitely not Paul Robinson. Wrong accent.
Robbo.
And it's not Mark Dennis. No.
Oh, you've got him here, Chris. I can't believe no one's got it.
If nobody's got it by, say, 10-2, I'm taking it as a victory. Okay?
Okay, I know who it is. I
Yeah.
didn't know who it was before you. I must reiterate, I didn't know who it was before you pressed play.
No. I'm not telling anybody this.
No.
This who they are. Oh, and while we're on, can we have a man of the match for this week, please?
For Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
My man of the match on Saturday was Williamson.
Chris, we've got a winner.
Williamson. We certainly have. It was Ian Clarkson. Well done, by Ian Clayton got that first, yeah.
Ian Clayton said Ian Clarkson, same initials.
Well done.
It's not the same bloke, is it?
Is that who you thought? Is that who you thought it was? Is that who you thought it was, Paul and Mark?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take your word.
I'm going to say,
check out the message board. I was first.
In the chat.
My match on Saturday was Williamson.
Okie dokie. Craig?
I'd second that, Williamson.
It's 2 votes. Claire?
Yeah, I agree.
Mark and Mark?
I'll fourth that.
I'll go for that as well.
Alan?
What's after four? I'm just checking.
Yeah, he did. We got scores.
We don't need your vote anyway now.
We can't all agree, can we? That'll just be
I'll go for that as well.
Well, can safely say then this week's winner is man of the match is Williamson then. There you go.
How much better I think that you wouldn't argue if you said like any player from 4 or 5. You know, if you'd have said Pake, if you'd have said Iwata, if you'd have said Stansfield, if you'd have said Cochrane, if you'd have said Clara, I wouldn't have argued with any of them.
No.
Couldn't argue that.
Actually, people's thoughts on Clara and the captaincy, because I think he was absolutely superb and bossed it.
Yeah. The man's he's just an absolute mountain, isn't he? You know, you could throw a slab in the air and he'd header it.
His first name.
He kept surprising me with the ball had dropped at his feet, and we have 3 blokes around him. And you're thinking, put your boot through it, get rid of it. And he'd bring it down, sidestep these 3 blokes, and make a nice little pass. And he kept doing that, and it was wonderful to watch. What a defender, what confidence. You get people, if the ball drops in your box, you get rid of it. But he didn't. He just said, thank you very much, and made a pass.
I mean, usually players that are built like that, and, he's a scary-looking dude. And Jesus, look at the size of him and that. I wouldn't want to be running at him. I wouldn't fancy upsetting him either, you know what I mean? If he was in bed with my missus when I come home, I'd tuck him in.
Does anybody think he looks like Jimmy Nail?
Yeah, he does a little bit.
Crocodile shoes.
Yeah, he's a big old unit, and he's some player as well with the ball at his feet. He's normally one or the other, and it for them kind of players. They're good in the air and they're solid, but they're not really that good with the ball at their feet. But the guy's got everything. He's not slow either, is he? He can shift as well.
No.
Yeah.
Can I say as well, the fans on Saturday, whoever's coming up with these new songs, it's just brilliant. I think, I reckon if we take from the start of the season and we get to the end, we could make an album of new songs, but 20 million down the drain. That's all I can say. It was just brilliant. Whoever come up with that.
It's been in my head all weekend, Craig. I can't get it out. I've been singing it.
It doesn't disappear, does it?
But you know what, though? We've had so many dreary songs. Like when we used to sing, like it wasn't even sing. It was like Sariki Dembe, Sariki Dembe, and it was just like and then whoever. Now we're actually making songs. Like I know that we use some of the songs from other people, but it's so refreshing because all of a sudden you're like, what's the song? Like we can hear it being sung. I want to know the words, and we just need to get them at home though. Because I find that a lot of the songs are away, and then like Alfie May's got his own away song, but it's not at home yet. So we need to kind of.
We need to hear the Williamson song now, don't we? The This Girl version of Williamson. Da, 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 da. Williamson. Da, 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 da. Yeah.
I prefer the Chipmunks version that we all heard the other day. That was much better.
I thought that was a good rendition, to be fair. I don't know if I got red buzzard on X Factor there or what, but there you go. Gavin Burr, I totally agree with you, Gavin. The worst game ever has got to be any Steve Cottrell match.
Yeah.
That was the most. I don't like looking back now, but that was the most challenging time for me as a season to get older, going down when he was our manager.
It wasn't fun, was it?
No.
No. He wasn't fun.
Well, he wasn't fun, no.
No.
Awful.
Not at all. So, yeah.
He's a guest next week, isn't he?
I think he's moving to Coventry.
Be better than you.
Mark, we're getting rid of you and we're replacing him with Cottrell, so the viewing figures are going to go up.
Leave Cottrell on his own.
JMF Aquatics. Clara don't train with the squad. He goes in the woods to resell bears.
But it just shows, though. I think we've got to do another shout out to like the scouting network because I've never known Blues to have such an array of talent from across the world, and I even think for like the women's as well, we've kind of hit over like Asia way, and we're kind of hitting like the Sweden and Norway and Denmark, and we're going out a little bit instead of going for has-beens or. Do you know what I mean? Like, who would have thought Clara would have turned up and how good's he? Williamson, Hansen, like Iwata come in, Pike, for example. I mean, you got, the bench is just brilliant. You see them coming off and you're like, oh, who's coming on? Right, Hansen sorted, brilliant. Then you see, oh, Alfie May's just going to turn up and replace Stansfield. Like, we haven't had that array of talent to come in, and you think, right, so-and-so's getting suspended. Okay, we've got so he can come in, or okay, he's injured. Alfie May's poorly. Last season, if we had, Alfie May say, and he was poorly, we would have been like, who are we going to have up front? We're not going to be able to win. All of a sudden, Dykes comes in for him. So it's so nice to have a squad that actually can play.
It's mad to think as well that only 6 weeks ago, we'd never heard of our new manager. We'd never heard of...
No.
Out of these 17 players that we've signed, I think there was a good maybe 12 or 13 that I'd never heard of before. And I don't think I'm alone there either.
No.
So
is anybody willing to put their hand up and say about any player that we've signed, well, I don't think too much of him. Because I can't.
No.
Everyone, they've all been spot on.
Nailed on.
Every single one of them is bringing something to the party, aren't they?
Absolutely.
There is one which... I know that a lot of people are saying is you got Samstead, who is a known right back, and you're playing a central midfielder at right back. So do you know, like, if you've got Gardner Hickman playing, what is it that Samstead isn't? Because surely he was supposed to be the sub right back. That's the only thing that I know a couple of people have said, why is it? And I was like, I don't know. Is it fitness? Is it getting up to speed? Is it... I don't know, but he would be one that I'd be like, why isn't he playing then? Why are we having to move Gardner Hickman? Is it so he can play? Because obviously at the moment there's no chance he would get in the middle.
If he was picked on Saturday, you wouldn't go, well, what's he in for? Would you?
No.
You'd say, that's fine.
It's
a question. Is that good? Why isn't he in?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
best midfielder in this league last season can't get in our starting 11. That's scary.
Yeah.
And that that's the way you kind of look at it at the moment. That shows the true strength, but also it shows the character of the players that are sitting there, because they could quite easily go, stuff it, we couldn't care less. But no, it's more of actually what am I going to do to make sure that I'm starting the next game. So, like the weekend, do we think he'll change it up and will Bielik immediately come back in?
Yeah.
What I noticed on Saturday at half time, when the players were going off, Alfie May in his tracksuit shook hands with about 4 or 5, the 2 strikers that were on. He shook their hands and 1 or 2 others. And I'm thinking, this bloke's been left out today. He should have his backside in his hand. But he wasn't. He was
poorly, though. He wasn't dropped. He was poorly.
Well, whatever the reason, he was dead behind the 2 blokes that were playing in his position. There was no, I can think of lots of players who would have walked off down the tunnel and moped.
Yeah.
But
Bielik was there as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was tracksuit, and he travelled with the team and everything. He could have stayed at home, but no, he wanted to go. So yeah, superb.
Yeah, no, they're definitely all on the same hymn sheet, aren't they? They're all working as a unit, every single one of them.
Yeah.
I think going back onto Stamstead, he's done okay when he's come on the pitch, but I don't know if Gardner Hickman's ever played right back before in his career. Obviously, I've not really followed him closely before he's come to us. But
I think when he signed him, somebody mentioned he's also played at fullback.
He's a good fullback.
It didn't surprise me that he played there, but it surprised me that they left the other guy out.
Yeah.
What had he done wrong? You know.
Yeah. No, has he started a game yet, Stamstead? Has he actually started at right back yet?
No, I think he played the Warsaw game.
Always I think.
The Warsaw game.
But who'd have thought Leonard had been left out?
I thought Leonard would be one of the first
players.
That's
right. And the other guy.
Yeah.
But at some point, we're going to have the games that come thick and fast. We're going to be playing Saturday, Tuesday. We're going to have injuries. We're going to have suspensions.
Yeah.
It's a squad game now, and thankfully, you look all over the pitch and you're thinking, wow, like, you know, if a Watton wasn't playing and Leonard played, you wouldn't be worried.
No.
You know, instead of bringing Lecco on and, you know what I mean, and Oliver Burke on. Do you know what I mean? No, now you've got other people that you go, oh, actually, they're all right.
Yeah. All the shoe-ins from our team in the last couple of seasons, the likes of Sanderson, you know, Buchanan. I mean, Buchanan's a quality player. I've always rated him since he's been here. You know, even I'm going to put Jordan James in there as I know he's moved on. But does Jordan James, if we still had him get into this team, I doubt it. You know.
Well, he can't get into French into Rennes, can he? I think he played like 26 minutes all season.
Yeah. So, but I don't think we're missing anyone who's come out of the team. With all due respect to them, I think anyone that's still here that was getting in the team regular, that's ready to come back, is really going to have a game getting back in. Especially Saturday, the way Davies played when he played on Saturday, and the way Bielik and Clara have formed that unreal partnership, you know.
Consistency by all of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan James is a good example. I liked him.
Yeah, and I did. Yeah.
But I have to say, was he consistent? No. You know, sometimes he'd be great, and sometimes he'd be ordinary. And, you know, the old card went up, off you come.
Yeah.
And you think, well, you're not surprised that he's been dragged off, you know.
Yeah, but
other times he's tremendous.
Having signed the likes of Sam Cosgrove and, you know, Greg Stewart in recent years and all these players in Scotland, you know, I was a bit hesitant when we signed, obviously, you know, Cochrane and these other players from Scotland. But my God, Cochrane is a proper player. He's probably the best. He's the best player we've signed from Scotland probably since Darren Randolph and
Murphy, probably.
David Murphy. Yeah.
I'll say, we said last week, Paul, Cochrane could walk into the Premier. I think he'd play in the Premier League.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
I think Hickman played right back for Albion for most of his time he was there.
Yes,
though, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's where he played.
Steve Bruce told him that that was his best position.
Is this Gardner Hickman? Yeah.
Yeah, Gardner Hickman. Bruce said that was his best position when he was the manager at the Albion. He used to play there quite a lot for Albion, so it doesn't shock that he's put him there, to be honest. But
he's very good there, isn't he? He's really good.
He is. Yeah. Again, like Alan said, you can play both of them and you wouldn't be surprised, would you? You wouldn't say, oh, we shouldn't drop him or play him at the minute. Even with Laird, all three of them.
And that's the thing. Does Laird get his shirt straight back when he's available again? Because Gardner Hickman's doing really well there.
Yeah.
It's healthy. It's a healthy problem to have, and it's good competition, and it's certainly a nice headache for Chris Davies to have, isn't it? And like you said earlier, Claire, you know, we haven't had these problems for years. I don't think we've ever had this strength in depth in my time going.
I think the thing is as well is I was absolutely distraught when we went down, but now best thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
I think with the money we spent, with everything, they've had a bit of time now to kind of go, right, we need to reset. This is how we need to do it. I think they owned up with the Rooney mistake. Yeah. And I think that's the mistake. They've got it out of them early, you know, and then they've thought, right, we need to get a good young manager in, refreshing, play the way we want to play and get players in that want to play. And the players that they've got rid of and the players that they brought in is chalk and cheese. The attitude, the commitment, the work rate. I mean, could you see Bakuna running after half these players? No. Could you see Hogan running? No. Like, you know, some of them, even the youngsters going out on loan, it's refreshing that we've got Dixon scoring goals. I know it's a lower league, but again, he's playing like professional, like men's football. You've got Donovan playing. You've got George Hall. I think he's injured though, isn't he?
Came off last month.
But at least we've got people. We can actually send Tyler Roberts out on loan. We can do business. But the thing is, it will be obviously when we do go up, and then if we do well again, it will be then the vultures around. Right, Cochrane's. Yeah. Can we keep hold of them? You know, like all these other players, are they going to stay, or are we a stepping stone like what people have used us for before? That's going to be the thing. But I've never seen a squad like it.
Nah,
it depends. I would say if it was me in their shoes, it depends who wants me. You know, if somebody like Brentford want me in the Prem, or you know, even the like
Everton,
like mid-table, low-end Premier League teams want me, then I'll be thinking to myself, well, I'm going to stick it out of Blues because this club's going somewhere, and I want to be part of that.
Can we actually break the tradition of being a selling club? Is what we want, isn't it?
We've just prized Jay Stansfield to step down 2 divisions, you know. So that tells you that this Blues is completely different to anything we've experienced before.
And if we sell people, if we do sell people, let's sell them for what they're worth instead of to people getting a knockoff price.
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what we need to start doing. Obviously, I don't want any of them to leave, but in future, can we start being, instead of selling them for 2, can we sell them for 7 and get the actual money for them?
Yeah, but for me, Alex Buckland and England are not blessed with loads of left backs to choose from. And I know I'm probably getting a bit ahead of myself here. He's only playing in League One, but if he continues to play like this in the Championship, and then, you know, we did get to where we want to be in such a short space of time and did do in Ipswich and get promoted next season, then into the Prem, and then in the first sort of dozen games in the Prem, if he's our left back then and performing really well, then he'll be knocking on that door as well, you know, because like I said, Luke Shaw by then will probably be 32, 33, you know, and look, who else is there, you know?
Steve, would you just mention the main stand as well? It's another bit of work that's going on.
So many changes coming with the main stand. It's going to be.
You mean they're going to change the toilet rolls in the main stand? God.
No, the problem is that the second tier of the main stand is still a temporary tier. Since the 70s, so they've got to do something. It's true. Wow. I don't know how people sit in there, but fair play.
If they just put another tea bag in the urn, that'll be
yeah.
Actually, the weekend as well, we should all go into plans to the opening of the fan park next to the George. So another first for the club to release. It's just bring on even more happy times.
Yeah,
I do worry about that, Craig. I do worry about that when it's absolutely, like it has been these last couple of days, absolutely battering it down outside. How are we going to, because we don't want the revenue to stop, do we? But how are they going to get around that?
Well, the fan park round by the George is going to have a roof on it. It's going to have like it's just been a specially made tarpaulin roof that will cover all of that section. Agree around the cop, and that has been mentioned. But I think it's worth noting, you know, people are outside at the moment, but actually the Globe and Ball, or Ball and Globe, whichever people decide to call it, that you can sit inside, and there's plenty of space inside there to shelter from things. I think we may see some sort of canopy, or hopefully we'll see some sort of canopy and stuff going up around there as well. And you know, we got box to box. That place obviously is heaving. It's only going to get better. And actually, God, if the weather's really crap, go inside the stadium and get a pint for £4.50. You can't get that in a pub. So, you know, that's the next thing.
The last twice I've gone to go in that box-to-box bar, they've actually put a ribbon across to stop people going in because it's that rammed. You can't literally breathe in there. But, sorry, Claire, you've just answered that. But, when do we get Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
It should be soon. I think it's just getting it all set up and running. I don't think it's as simple as people think.
No.
No problem. And let's end on predictions then. I know we've only got a couple of minutes left now, haven't we, Chris? So
we've got about 40 seconds.
Yep, so let's go around quickly then. I'll start with Saturday. I think we'll win 2-0 again. Craig?
I'm going to go big. I think we could have a 3 or 4-0. We need it.
Okay. Claire?
4-1.
Oh, we're conceding. Oh.
I always say we concede, and I seem to get the goals right, so that's where I'm at.
Okay. Meredith?
2-1 Blues.
Rope?
3-0 Blues.
The chairman?
0.
How much?
3-0.
3-0. Okay. Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0.
Okay, I went 2-0. I said 2-0 last week, by the way, as well, at Rotherham.
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
Jason Hughes has said 2-0. Mandy Irvine 2-1. Mark Hadley 3-0. Paul Lilly 3-0. Mike Hill 3-0. Nigel Mann 3-0, but could be 6. What are you trying to bring on, Nigel? That's all I'm saying. We've got Simon Andrews 3-0. Pete Taylor, it's happening this week. 8-0 Blues. And Ray Cornish finally, he said good night to all, another great night, and 2-0 to Blues. And I've got Livy with me, she's saying 3-0 Blues as well.
And on YouTube, Mazza King says 4-0, JMF Aquatic says 3-0, and Susan Norton says 3-0 to Blues. There we go.
Now, on the subject of YouTube, please give our page a subscription as well. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube as well. And obviously, thanks for those that watch on YouTube. But yeah, we've been the Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by MG Logistics. I've been Paul Hipkiss, and it's good night from me, and it's good night from Claire Giblin.
It's good night from me, and it's good night from Craig Courtney.
It's a good night from me, and it's a good night from the only true Mark. So over to you, Mr. Meredith.
Thank you, sir. It's a good night from me, and it's a good night from the chairman.
Thank you. Good night from me, and a good night from the Leicester Mark.
I know you wanted to say skid Mark. It's all right.
Mark.
Good night from me, and it's good night from the man who pushes all our buttons, Mr. Browne.
No, I haven't been listening. Am I the last one?
You are the last one, I think.
And it's a good night from me. Good night.
Keep right on.
Good night from Harley's dogs as well. I can never forget that one.
I'll remember to say good night this week.
Whose house you in this week, Mark?
Well, they're a lovely
Yes, you should have Waka Waka on.
Waka Waka.
Yeah.
Whose name's on that robe?
BCFC Mark.
Oh, that's all right then.
Anyway, about this couple
Which Mark, though?
Broke into, eh?
Which Mark? I'm amazed you found a house with another Mark in there. It's a Blues fan.
Oh. Anyway, this couple have gone to walk the dog, so I've been watching them for a week.
Hey, she's my ex-wife, Mark. You're good.
By the way, my bucket's full.
We are only joking. He hasn't broken into the house. Yes.
No. And the leather gloves and the balaclavas didn't coincidence.
Normally only keep them for weekends.
What's that? Oh, I thought I had a door going there.
Hi, Eau Claire.
Sorry, I was just watching the Stansfield goal again.
What a goal.
Stop looking constipated as well, Meredith.
Anybody got a lemsip?
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers, we do golden offers like this.
MGM Millions, our supersized jackpot where right now you could win over £21 million.
Get ready for the golden era in online casino. BetMGM, it's showtime.
Minimum 10p game stake. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
And there it is. That's as good as it gets on this stage. Nissan Townstar EV strikes again. It's an unstoppable van. Unstoppable.
Just fantastic. You can actually see the Pro Pilot technology in action. Effortless parallel parking.
It moves with all the confidence that comes with a 5-year warranty.
And with a bench full of all-star van experts, there's real strength in depth here.
That's all-star quality.
Search Nissan Townstar EV and visit your local all-star van centre to see for yourself.
Terms and conditions apply. 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first.
Pro Pilot is an advanced driver assist technology. Driver's responsibility to stay alert, drive safely, and control vehicle at all times.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.